child. Vlog, docs, multiple different angles. Nearly had a breakdown. Infections. Everything is so time consuming.
This patient is then looking at therapy. In addition, on the radiology, that there may
Good morning and welcome back to a new vlog. I completely forgot that I was going to be vlogging this week. I'm just getting ready now to go to uni. Luckily I've got a later start today, so it's 8:30. Been to the gym this morning. I had some breakfast with Ben. Just at home, we made brekkie together. And I'm getting ready, I'm gonna head in. I always catch the train into uni because the traffic on the way is just horrible. If I go in that way, like on a weekend or whatever, in the middle of the day when there's no traffic, it'll take me 25 minutes to get in there. But if I leave any time in the morning, it's taking at least 45 minutes. That's if I leave at like 6 a.m. This time it would take hour 15, hour and a half, because the traffic is horrendous. And then I've got to pay $6 something for parking. That's if I can even find a park. So I figure it's just easier to catch the train because then I can just sit there and relax. It's 50-cent fares still here in Queensland. So it costs me $2 because I have to go train and bus, and then on the way home bus and then train. So I cannot complain about that. But it is quite tiring driving's still worse. But catching public transport, because it takes about an hour and a quarter, hour and a half. So either way, I'm commuting for a long time every day, and that's quite tiring. Fine, I'm grateful because this is the only medical school that I didn't have to move away for. Every other one that I applied to, or every other one that there is, I would have had to move. So I don't know how I would have afforded to live. I'm very grateful that I can stay here and go to uni. It's week 9 this week. We just had a mid-sem break. We had our first exam and then a week off. So we're getting back into it this week. The week off, like, yeah, I needed it, but I also wish I didn't have it because I was in such a good routine and I was locked in, and now I am locked out. Well and truly. Yesterday was a struggle. I had classes online all day. So I'm hoping that today, going in there and being in person, I'm gonna be able to focus a bit better and actually retain some information. Because we're doing lung tumours and starting to do the cardiovascular system. We just did like lung... infections. Upper respiratory tract, lower respiratory tract infections. That's what this all is. That was what our exam was on. So now we're kind of building on that. I'm gonna stop rambling and find something to wear. I'm actually shocked at myself for how long it took me to pick the most basic ass outfit ever. Holy shit. Nearly had a breakdown. Do I look bald in this headband? This is a different one. I'm trying a new one. This is the one I normally wear. Is that the exact same thing? Probably. I think today would have been fine. Most days I have an idea of what I want to wear in my head and I put it on and I've executed the plan perfectly and I get dressed in 5 minutes and then I leave and everything's fine. And then other days like today, it doesn't go to plan. What I wear in my head does not look as good when I put it on. I think that dress was just slightly too short to be wearing to uni. I think it would have annoyed me with my bag. And then I think once I put these on, it was just like, I looked like a child, like a school person in a dress and like white socks with black shoes. I don't know. Anyway, we are ready to go. Hello? Hello. I'm home from uni. I am tired. It's 6:30 And I was gonna make something for us for dinner, but there's nothing in the fridge and I don't know what to make. So I made myself a bowl of Milo cereal. Just a little snacky snack while I wait for people to get home. I don't know where everyone is. Oh no, Ben's at work, but I don't know where his parents are. Anyway, I'm gonna do some more uni. Today's classes were, the lecture I didn't watch was an ethics, professionalism and law one on autonomy. I'm gonna watch that later this week. I feel like I know things about autonomy, and I did the guided learning, so those classes aren't super helpful because you kind of just discuss the guided learning further. And then my only other class that I had today was my history and examination skills class, which is definitely one of my favorite classes because you're actually learning the hands-on skills that directly translate to being a doctor. So we're doing the respiratory system at the moment, and the past few weeks we've been doing respiratory exams. So our first little assessment from that class was on history of presenting complaint. So someone comes to you with like literally whatever they're going. We stage it as like a GP generally. Like for my assessment, for example, the girl had hurt her knee. She like twisted it at a netball game. And I didn't have to diagnose her. Like that's a pretty simple one. You could tell it's going to be some like ACL, MCL something, meniscus tear. But it's just about asking the right questions to get enough information out of them. And then, so we do 3 weeks of class, and then on the 4th week is our little assessment piece to test what we've learnt. And it's always like a role play type piece. So we've had 3 weeks of respiratory exam, and then next Tuesday will be our assessment on it. So today we practiced ear, nose and throat exams as well. We didn't do any actually of the nose, but we looked in each other's ears and we looked at each other's throats so that we know how to use an otoscope to look in ears, and just like the little swab to look at each other's throats. It's pretty like, we're obviously all healthy people, so you can only see so much, but it is so fun to practice the exam and to use the equipment and stuff. And then we also practice for our assessment. So we've got to do a respiratory exam on someone and then also relay our findings to the examiner, which is our tutor. I've just been looking at some anatomy on the way home because I have an anatomy prac tomorrow on the upper respiratory tract, and this whole time I thought I'd looked at this document because we get, for each prac, we get a document that outlines what we're going to see basically. Starts off with like bones of the sinuses. Whoa. Blood supply of the sinus. I haven't gone to this. Oh, that's like the throat and stuff. Larynx, pharynx. I'm assuming it stops around larynx because then that's lower. Yeah. So yeah, I thought, because we've been doing upper respiratory tract before midterm break, I thought I'd looked at this, and I haven't, and I found out this afternoon that I haven't. So I'm probably not gonna have time to look at it all before our prac, but tomorrow is a very big exam for me. I have my uni timetable. So I've got a lecture in the morning, can't remember what it's on though. And then a 2.5 hour TBL, which is like group work. We get given like a topic and we get asked questions about it and scenarios and stuff, and we go through it together as a group and we all discuss. And I guess it's more so a focus on like how we can apply our knowledge clinically. So it's run by like GPs, and they tell us more about actually applying our knowledge from like the theory that we've learnt. So that's from 10 till 12:30, and then from 1 till 3 is my anatomy prac. And then straight away from 3 till 5, I've got a physiology prac, which I also haven't looked at. It's on arterial blood pressure measurement. Med school is just being humbled over and over again every single day of your life. Over and over and over and over. And when you think you've caught up and you know things, you discover something that you don't know. Or a new week starts and then you have 40 hours of content that you have to jam in there. So this is my OneNote. This is how I organise all of my subjects. Learning in the MDD, assessing what matters, critical thinking, advocacy and public health, EPL, TBL, anatomy, histology, pathology, immunology, physiology, pharmacology, chemical and molecular sciences, H&E, clinical communications and skills, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health, clinical plenary and symposia, which is like where actual doctors come in and like teach us about their specialty area, which aligns with what we're learning on, which is actually really interesting. And then I've got paired shoots, reflections, because we have to do reflections for like an end of year assessment. So this week I've got 2 ethics, professionalism and law classes. I've got an advocacy and public health class, a pathology lecture, a rural and remote medicine lecture, a clinical plenary on cystic fibrosis, and a lecture on pharmacology of asthma. And then I've also got that anatomy prac, the physiology prac, the H&E that I did, and my 2 TBLs, which are 2.5-hour classes each. So it's structured like completely different from all uni classes. We only have one subject because you get no choice in what you're doing. It's all completely set for you. And then different people are allocated to different timetable pathways. So I have the exact same timetable as 9 other people in the cohort, and they're the ones that I do certain classes with, like my TBLs and my history and examination skills. And then every week your timetable changes, so you have to be organised and look at what you've got coming up the week ahead. And then we move through body systems one by one, and that's how we learn. So we started off with a little bit of immunology, like the immune system, and then like associated histology and pathology with that, and then just a general anatomy like kind of overview. We did a little bit of like basic pharm as well, and then we moved into the respiratory system. So our first exam was on the immunology and some resp stuff, and we did obviously associated histology, pharmacology, pathology, all of that, and the anatomy. And then yeah, we do a lot of non-med sci stuff as well. And the actual contact hours for classes isn't the worst. Like you saw my timetable, the blue stuff is classes, the purple stuff is like my own study. So especially this week, class isn't crazy, but for every class you have guided learning, which they set for you online. And obviously it's your choice whether you do the guided learning. They say to do it before you come to class so that you are prepared. And I definitely think you need to do at least some of it, because they can ask you exam questions. Like some stuff they don't cover in class and they only cover in guided learning, and they can ask you exam questions about that. And it just helps reinforce the stuff that you're learning. But if you were to go into detail to remember every guided learning piece for every subject that you did, you would literally have to do uni 14 hours a day, every day. Like I'm not even joking. Like yesterday I had a 2-hour pathology lecture. They set an hour and a half of pre-learning videos to go through. And like, yeah, you can just watch those videos, but what if you want to take notes? Obviously I wanted to take notes because it's lung cancer. I need to remember that shit. I was working on that from 1 p.m. until 6 p.m. yesterday. 5 hours. For 1.5 hours of video. And then I still had to watch the 2-hour lecture this morning, and that 2-hour lecture actually took me 3 or 4 hours, because again I was taking notes. And like, yeah, he went over some stuff, but there's so much stuff that you need to go over it at least twice, otherwise you're never going to remember it. Everything is so time consuming. And when I say like these anatomy documents, they're all 40 pages long of like heavy anatomical stuff. Like there's no fluff. I was feeling really anxious yesterday going through the pathology stuff because those videos were taking me so long. Like I knew they would, but I was just sitting here longer and longer, and I wanted to stop at 5. And the closer it got to 5, the more I was realizing I'm not getting through this in that time. And I was just starting to get really anxious, and I started getting sick in my tummy. And like sometimes when I'm spending a lot of time on one thing, it makes me feel like that, like a knot in my stomach, because I'm like, I have so much other stuff to do. I don't have time for this, but I also can't skip this because I need to know this. And everything is like that. I've also decided to train for a triathlon in like just over a month. So that's giving me something to focus on other than CrossFit, because CrossFit's been hard lately because I have gotten worse because I'm not training as much. I really struggle to go backwards because I feel like I'm constantly trying to take the next step forwards, and at the moment I can't, and I know I can't, and that's fine, but it feels like shit when you're in a workout and you're like, I should be able to do this so much easier than I'm doing it right now. And my brain is used to being competitive, and it's just hard to flick that switch. So training for something completely different has been really nice. I'm going to try and remember to take you with me more throughout the week instead of just nothing and then yapping. I've been yapping for 25 minutes. I should have been studying. Sorry. Hiya. That's going to be annoying. It's 1 o'clock. I've just been studying all day. I woke up early this morning and went for a swim with my brother to train for the tri that we're doing. And then came home and studied, and then studied and studied. And now I'm eating my lunch. I've got lamb burger patties. With a Mediterranean veggie mix, so zucchini, eggplant, capsicum and onion, and then I cooked some rice as well. Very random. Topped it with some sweet chili sauce and Kewpie mayo. Random, but delicious. Thankfully, because I cooked double and I'm going to take the leftovers for lunch to uni tomorrow. Oh yeah. I just had my lunch and I'm going to get back into some study. I don't think I've mentioned on a vlog that when I started uni, I started getting really bad, like, I can't fucking win. I can't remember if I told you guys when I first started uni, I started getting really bad headaches behind my eyes, and my eyes are just so tired all the time. And I hadn't been to an optometrist in possibly since I was a child, so I decided to go and get my eyes checked. It turns out I need glasses. So these are just reading glasses, and then these are multifocal reading and distance. They have like a gradient between the lens, and I think they're so cutie. I wear these mostly at uni because obviously I'm in classes and I need to see different distances, and then I usually just keep these ones at home and I wear them to study at home. They're very similar. I had to get the ultra wide ones because I have an ultra wide head, and my eyes have been way better since I started wearing these. I've literally been studying anatomy all day and I had so much other shit that I needed to do. And instead I've been drawing the larynx and the pharynx from multiple different angles. It's so confusing. That's what I had my prac on yesterday. Oh my god. I have to start work in an hour. So I'm just gonna have to, I don't know, maybe do some more, I don't know. Shit. I've wasted my whole day and I have to prep for a class that I have tomorrow. I'm getting dinner with Ben and his dad after work, so I literally don't know when I'm gonna do my stuff for tomorrow's class because I haven't done it. I just opened a package from Wild. They sent me the same thing twice, so I'm not gonna touch the second one. But I have started working with Wild over on Instagram. This is not sponsored at all. I just thought I would show you guys because since I've started working with them, I've actually become obsessed. So it's a natural refillable deodorant and you get these cases. This is definitely my favorite one as part of the Valentine's Day collection. And then you get refillable things of deodorant and you snap them in there. Go back in your holder please, ma'am. And then this one is like on its last legs. But this was my first scent and my favorite scent. I think it's like cherry blossom or something, and it smells so good. It's kind of smells like perfume, which like is perfect, I think, because when you lift up your arms you get a perfume smell. And then in this one is their mango, which is also super sweet and yummy and fruity. And then, oh no, this is cherry blossom. What was this? Love potion. This is cherry blossom. I don't know what one to put in next. The new ones that I just got, this one is Mad Hatter's Tea Party. I would say it smells a bit citrusy, like a sweet citrus kind of smell. This is Alice's Secret Garden. Oh, that smells musky, like a sweet musk type smell. Love. And then Queen of Hearts cherry tarts, which smells like cherry. And then I also got the Queen of Hearts in their reusable lip balm. I am a massive lip balm person. I have a paw on my bedside table, in my uni bag, in my car, and in the handbag that I use most often. I also use the MCO Beauty Butter Lip Balm Coconut. That's also in my uni bag. And then this is also going to go in my uni bag, and I'll put the MCO one in my car. And it's refillable tube, and it's all natural, it's all vegan, and obviously plastic free, because all of this packaging is paper or cardboard, and then you reuse the metal canisters. And I just love it because it's so good for the environment and it smells so good. I usually use roll-on or cream deodorant, and I'd say it's very similar to that. There was like a little period where I needed to adjust to using the natural one. Some people have it, some people don't apparently. Where you just like sweat a little bit more. Sometimes you can smell a little bit more. But honestly, like, I only smelt myself at the end of a long day, and it was only when I like lift up my arms and smelt in there, which I would say is normal anyway. Like, I'm always gonna smell a little bit at the end of a long day. I'm very self-conscious about smelling. I always get Ben to check for me, but I wouldn't say I'm a smelly person. You only smell it if you get in there. I digress. I'm very grateful for this little package. And then I also got a package from Muscle Nation. Kind of went a little bit rogue this month. Again, not sponsored, but I do work with them on Instagram. Ooh, I had to try. I have their flare leggings in the ribbed fabric. I love them. I wear them all the time. And they released some non-ribbed flares. And I was going to get the black, but I was like, I already have black flares. So I got this beautiful, like, deep plum, purpley brown color. And I can just see myself wearing these to uni so much. They're so cute. And such a soft material too. And then I needed some new scrunchies, and these are the only colours left. I'm not a big red person. I definitely use the pink and the black. I don't know, maybe I'll force myself to be a red person. And then I got a couple things that Ben and I can share, because I'm just a kind girlfriend like that. I love this oversized tee. This is from the men's section, I believe. Just like that vintage kind of look on a brown tee. It's like a off-white print. That's nice. That'll look really good on Ben too. And then, because you can never have enough track pants, these will be like super baggy on me. They're Ben's size. And I don't mind a super baggy track pant. These grey, elastic at the bottom, which is a must. Little Muscle Nation logo. They look so comfy. And they got zip pockets. It's a bit bougie. Love. They have just released their winter collection. So all of this stuff, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen me wearing. I have like a grey sweatshirt, jumper, tracksuit, track pant, I can't talk, set, and a couple other like long sleeve pieces that I love. Anyway, I'm going to quickly look at some uni for tomorrow and then we're going to get dressed and go to the gym. When I was in high school, I had braces for nearly 3 years, and my mum would always cut up my apple for me so that it didn't break my braces. And now I cannot eat an apple whole. I need to cut it up every single time. Outfit check. The pants, I was gonna wear them as a set. It came as a set with like an oversized button-up shirt, and it's so cute, but I was like, I don't know if I'm feeling all the stripes and the oversized today. It's rare that I don't feel like oversized. I very much go between the two, like oversized or tight. Today was a tight day, so this top is just a plain white one from Cook Eye. These, I can't remember if I just said they're from Nude Lucy. Very cute. And then I'm wearing my clog Docs, and I love them. And the wavy headband is from Kmart. I may or may not have completely forgotten that I was meant to be vlogging. You didn't miss much. I tried to vlog Friday for you, but it's just so hard because when I'm in uni, like, I have so many other things to think about other than pulling out my camera. But hopefully over time I'll do better at remembering. And then yesterday I worked from 6:30 till 11:30. I went home, did some uni, but not enough uni. This lighting, dude. I'm so sorry. Yeah, did a little bit of uni, and then I did my first brick session. So that's like either a bike and a run or a swim and a bike or like whatever. I did a bike and a run. I did 19 Ks. I did it on a bike erg because it was pouring rain. Like we got a storm in the afternoon. And then Ben ran here, met me here, and then we went for a 6K run together on like the hilliest street possible around here. We'd never been up it before. So we're like, let's like go up here, see what happens. And then we turn onto the street and it's just up, and we're like, cool, surely it's not that bad. We get to the top, turn around a corner, up again. Around another corner, up again. And like, because we were doing like a loop, so every time we like turned around, it would just like, oh my god, we got so high. It was a really nice view actually, but it was so slow. But I need to practice running up hills because I think for my tri, I'm going to have stairs. So I need to practice that with dead legs. Anyway, it's 7:10. I'm at the gym. I really wanted to go to the gym on Friday when I got home from uni because I got home at like 4:30 or 4 o'clock. But I was so wrecked. Like I felt like having a temper tantrum the whole afternoon, like a child. Because I was so tired, I felt like I couldn't regulate any of my emotions. I did end up crying that night, but I was just so exhausted that I knew I shouldn't go to the gym, even though I really wanted to. So I did some more study instead, like a good student. But anyway, I've only done CrossFit once or twice this week. Maybe once, I don't know. So I'm going to do some CrossFit today. Yeah, Ultra Strawberry Dreams is the best Monster flavour. Well, it's my favourite Monster flavour at the moment. It does tend to change quite a bit. And I'm obsessed with the drawings on the side. I think that's part of why I like it so much.